Now to the controversy surrounding the trip to West Papua by Today Tonight's Naomi Robson and crew to save a young boy from cannibals. As we reported last night, Naomi and our team were stopped by Indonesian authorities on visa issues after authorities there were tipped off. We don't know who tipped them off, but we do know a rival network, Channel 9, did everything possible to stop the trip. And I spoke with Naomi Robson and tribe guide Paul Raphael a short time ago. Naomi, it's been a tough trip, and back here in Australia, the program and you have been criticised for even attempting it. What do you say to that?
Well, Samantha, I'd say that we're talking about a 6-year-old boy who lost both his parents last year. He's been accused of being a kakwa, which is a male witch. Now, for that, he will be killed and eaten by his tribe if he's not removed from the area. Now, his uncle begged both Cornelius, our guide, and Paul Raphael to take him out of there. Now, you can see he's malnourished. His family cannot protect him where he is. They've taken him out of the area that they were initially in. But where he is now, he is still in grave danger. And you only have to look at the pictures of little Wawa to see that he's absolutely terrified. Now, if I'm going to be criticised for trying to help in this situation, well, I'll wear it.
Now, Paul Raphael, you're the expert in that region. It's been your passion to rescue Wawa. Tell us the events leading up to you approaching Today Tonight to take up this mission.
In April, I took a 60 Minutes crew into the cannibal area. We were there for quite a few days, and when we visited a village called Yafufla, the morning we were leaving, we were approached, the 60 Minutes crew, myself and Cornelius Cumberan, our guide, by a man in traditional garb and a little boy with the most terrified look I've ever seen in my life. He begged us, myself, Stephen Rice, the producer, Ben Fordham, he begged us to take Wawa out to Jayapura so that he would be safe. Channel 9 turned it down. That little boy's eyes, his face, many times more powerful than you would have seen on the screen, this terror haunted me. And I decided that whatever it was going to take, I would get that little boy out. So I went to Channel 7 and I explained the situation, and I got a very sympathetic hearing there. I was going to mention to Channel 7 that not only do you have to rescue the little boy, but there's got to be a guarantee that the next 10 years he's got to be looked after. But Channel 7 executives made that pledge even before I asked it, and that's how we got here.
Now, back here in Australia, you may not be aware, but there's been a lot of so-called expert opinions saying Wawa should not be moved. What do you say to that?
Go to the jungle and ask his family. His family are desperate to get him out, especially since his uncle has been killed as a kakwa. They want him out, the family, not me.
So Wawa's family were 100% behind what we were doing?
I wouldn't have done what I did without the fact that they urged this.
Now, we need to address the issue of the so-called tactics of Channel 9 in the days leading up to the trip. You ended up in the middle of it all. Who was responsible and what pressure were you put under?
The pressure didn't come until just 3 or 4 days before we left. As I've said, Channel 9 rejected out of hand. But then Ben Fordham, the reporter, called me on Tuesday of last week and in a roundabout way said that he knew that the Channel 7 crew was going in a few weeks' time, and did I know anything about it. And then on last Thursday, he called me again and in an almost boastful way said that we now know the Channel 7 crew is leaving on this day to Bali, this day to Jayapura, and they're leaving on a chartered plane on the 13th of September from Jayapura to Yanuruma, where you would then go in the jungle. He said, we know this, so we're coming to you to make an offer. Ben Fordham said that on the night before there'd been a crisis meeting at Channel 9, senior news and current affairs executives, and they realised what a stain this would be on 60 Minutes' reputation because of the way they dumped him. And so what they were offering me was that if I was willing to dump Channel 7, and this is 3 days before we left, then they would give me a 1-hour documentary on these people, the cannibals, to be made by Ben and I, and we'd go in, we'd use the film from the 60 Minutes report, we'd get more film, and most importantly, we would rescue Wawa. Now, that's the words of Ben Fordham, and those were the words passed on by the executive, David Hurley, I believe his name is. we would rescue Wawa. And Ben said that from this meeting the decision was that if I agreed to this, then I should name my price, whatever I wanted.
Now, how did you view all this, considering they rejected your initial plea?
I saw it the fact that they didn't care about Wawa. All they cared about was stopping Channel 7 from going in. No mention was made of looking after Wawa for the next 10 years. It was just, we want to rescue Wawa to stop Channel 7 from doing it. And there was nothing said anymore about his welfare.
Paul, you're a very passionate man. How do you feel right now that for reasons out of your control, Wawa is still in danger?
Look, I'm not going to break down and cry on camera. I'll go off camera and I'll do it because I think this is an important message and I don't want to overlay it with my emotion. But it's tearing at my heart.
So, Paul, what happens now? What happens to Wawa?
I don't know. I mean, I just don't understand how somebody could have told the Indonesian authorities that we are going in there not only to put us at risk, but much more importantly, sabotage the rescue of this little boy who's so under threat. I don't understand that.
Naomi, do you have any regrets about what you were trying to achieve in West Papua?
Absolutely not. I think Paul's made it very clear that Wawa's life is in danger, and clearly we would have liked to have helped, so I would do it all over again.
Now, we do need to clear up one point. Last night we reported that $100,000 was offered to the local guide, Cornelius, but as you just heard, that offer was made through Paul Raphael. And here's what Cornelius has to say.
Can you tell me what Ben Fordham said to Nikki last night about us trying to save Wawa, which you had asked us to do?
Yeah, I just got information from Nikki that Ben said to Nikki that taking out Wawa from Yamafla to Jayapura is something like kidnapping. That's saving is not, kidnapping is not, because the saving is that the family is willing to asking us to bring out the kid. And also his life, Wawa's life is now in danger. He is now living in like in a feeling, a fear of feeling. So I don't think so. I don't think that's the kidnapping. It's not kidnapping.
If we don't get him out now, this could jeopardize his life.
Who knows, you know? So when this happened, so it's very bad.
You would prefer not to take the chance?
Yeah, I prefer not to take the chance.